Just making sure I don't have audio issues again. Oh, should be good. Good evening, guys. Welcome to International Racing League Season 7, F1 tier, Round 3 at Spain. I'm your commentator, IRL Neon. I'm also joined by my co-commentator, Kevin. If you want to introduce yourself, Kevin.
Hello. Here, of course, today it's Spain for round 3. Last week out, it was Jay who actually took the win in a very close race. By the end, we had 4 cars going for it. So I'm hoping to see more of the same today.
As we all are, as the Williams pair already are leaving the garage, and that is Matthew Alder who will be going out first on soft tyres. He will be doing a banker run then. What about his teammate Cameron Young? This may be a slipstream tactic from the Williams team.
Two Alphas doing the exact same thing behind them.
Very interesting. Good evening, Cooper. Welcome to the stream. Didn't know you were racing today. So welcome. Good evening, Luke. Hi from S3. While we wait for them to go on their laps, we will have a look.
Do some predictions.
Well, yeah, you can do your first predictions, mate, while I just have a look at some things for the F1 thing. Will you do that?
Spain, of course. I think it's more of a pad track, I'm not sure.
It is.
Yeah. I'm gonna put I'm gonna put Aaron Collingwood for the pole, because I feel like he's been close here and there, but has run into some difficulty where he hasn't been able to properly be at the top by the end of the race. So I'm going to put him for the pole. I'm going to put Jay very closely behind him, and then right behind him, Matthew.
Alright then, well, my top 4 then is going to be Jay, Paul, Cameron 2nd, Matthew 3rd. And I'm going to give Felix Negwer a bit of credit in 4th, as he's been performing quite well recently, as Cameron's currently on a lap right now. He is on the hard compound of tyre. His teammate was trying to give him a slipstream, as he's apparently PB in purple, obviously, since nobody else has done a lap. Ooh, he locks up into that corner there, big lock up on the left front. See how he can handle the rest of the track then. As we have yellows, that is a Renault off track. As right now then, we will go through turn. Oh, Ferrari and a Haas, I believe, is off the track, and that could have messed Cameron up into turn 12 there. He's now into turn 13. With the final 2 corners of turn 14 and 15. In turn 15, you've got to watch out you don't cut it in the race, because if we do catch you, it may be reported if you do it multiple times, and you will receive a penalty. Here comes Cameron then. Provisional pole with an 18.3. Takes provisional pole there. Lion does a 1:18.8 on a set of hard compounded tyres. Lee Kelly does a 19.4. As we have a few people now finishing their laps. Pedro isn't on one. There's a Haas. I believe that is Lucas Serra who's on a lap now. As well, wait for everybody to finish off their laps. Penalties from last week. Venom, who has been given a qualifying ban for this race after he blocked Brian in quali, so he cannot do a qualifying lap. Aaron Collingwood, warning with a 3-second time penalty. What he got on lap 17 was removed. Lucas Serra has been given a 10-second time penalty. I think he got that last race. And he also got a 5-second time penalty given to be fast for an unsafe re-entry of the track also, from last race I believe. The incident between Faz and Midnight was a racing incident. Jay and Matthew's incident was NFA. With the finishing order, with Aaron Collingwood taking 5th, Eric takes 6th, Pedro dropped to 9th, Jamie dropped to 7th, and Venom dropped to 8th there. So those two move up. As right now though, Lucas Serra is finishing his laps as a racing point and a Mercedes off. Materials all over the track. As Lee Kelly didn't block Lucas there, so it was really out of the way. And here comes Lucas then to the line, 19.5, puts up to P8 right now. Kevin, do you want to commentate over Sondre right now? Oh, actually no, doesn't matter. He's not on a lap.
I'm just doing the tweet.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll let you do the tweet then.
In a second.
Here comes Jack Laverty then, who qualified on pole in Bahrain, got a podium out of it, I believe, in the end, and he was very happy with that. Was a bit disappointing that he didn't win the race. He's currently PB pole right now, as we can see him through the final sector now. So we'll just have a look at the comments. The reason why Cooper's in here, it's extra practice for him tomorrow. As long as he doesn't affect anybody else in F1, that'll be alright. Here comes Jack Laverty, P2 there, 118.5, so maybe the Williams team have got a McLaren to worry about. However though, the next person who I believe on a lap is Lewis Curtis. Lewis Curtis is now in Sector 2. As people are saying, let's go Faz, so they're giving Pedro some confident boost. It's currently Lewis Curtis is on a PB right now in Sector 2. Best Sector 2 right now as his teammate lets the Renault through. Let's see what Lewis Curtis can do, as he, I believe, got a podium in the first round. As we will go through the driver's standings probably later through quali. But here comes Lewis Curtis then. Across the line, does a 19.4 P8 there, but he was purple in Sector 2. So he lost a bit of time, as Felix is in P11 with a 19.1. He's a 10th up on his lap in Sector 2, also purple. So people losing a lot of time in Sector 3 there. As Felix hasn't got that much ERS to play with.
Now I've just picked up Pedro, unless you're on a lap with someone else.
Felix back to finish lap. We'll go on Pedro right now. In 3. As Felix improves by 9 thousandths, does a 19.7. As we'll now go on Pedro, Kevin, for you to finish off his lap.
Yeah, just coming around the final few corners. He is going for it around the final corner now. We'll see if he's up on his time or not. And he puts it into 4th with an 18.8, so a pretty good lap from there now for him on hard.
That is a very good lap. Just excuse me for a minute. Someone's just gone on my bloody keyboard. Hopefully that doesn't bust it. Is anybody else on a lap you want to commentate over while I try and fix this? I think Coleman's actually on a lap. It's actually in bad days.
Cameron Young looks to be on a lap as well.
Okay, I'll go on board with him right now and let you commentate over his lap. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
No, he's invalidated at the exit there, actually. Looks like.
Yeah, he has. Alright, what about Eric? He's actually on a lap there, Matt. So he's currently in Sector 1 right now. He's currently in P6. Isn't invalidated.
There he is. Yeah, so through turn 4 that was, into turn 5, you want to go into first gear and then get the traction by short shifting up to 3rd. And now through this uphill left-hander straight onto a right-hander, you got to really get the power down early there. And this almost flat, it usually is flat, although the hards do have to lift off a bit into the hairpin corner now. And this is now Sector 3 as he comes through this tight section. Now through the final few corners, you really got to get this bit right, because the exit of this corner here will dictate pretty much your run to the line. And now he is coming up to the line. We'll see what he's going to get. He's in 8th right now, and he puts up to 5th with an 18.9. Flat, actually.
That's a good lap there.
Or almost flat.
Eric in 5th right now was in Toro Rosso. He was an F2 driver, got promoted from the season. He was, I believe, 2nd in the standings at the end of the season of F2. So Eric has got some pace with him.
It is Was that Nino going second there?
Yes, it was. Nino Romanello takes a 118.5 on 5 laps old hard. So Nino is showing that he's still got pace even on those old hard tyres. And he's currently in second place right now, with Jack Leverty third, Lyon in fourth. Matthew Alder, however, is on an outlap.
Speaking of Lyon, he's coming across the line. I don't think he improved there. Not sure. Oh no, wait, he's starting lap.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can go on board with him if you want.
Yep, sure. As he takes turn 1 and 2, nice and tidy there. As he goes flat through turn 3, a little bit of a lift, just to make sure the car can get around the corner. As he takes the shortest route possible, as Matthew did do the hot lap, as he's currently PB pole at the moment, currently 1.5 tenths up on his lap. Let's see how he takes turn 5 now. Drops to first, goes up the gear, slowly in second, into third, doesn't short shift. If he's not comfortable with that, however, I believe that is Matthew Alden. No, that's actually Cameron Young ahead of him, so Cameron Young may have to get out of the way of the Alfa Romeo, who is on a lap right now as he's going through turn 9. Lifts off a little bit, decent exit, and climbing up the revs and gears up to 192 miles an hour into turn 10. See how he takes turn 11. He's currently purple in sec 2, all rear kicked out a little bit. He may lose a little bit of time, probably half a tenth, as he now comes up through turn 11 and 12 into turn 13 as he's coming up the final chicane. Cameron has to get out of the way, just lately gets out of the way as Matthew's about to finish his lap, so the Williams team can't do the slipstream tactic. And here comes Lyon. What time will he set? It's an 18.5, takes P3, so he improves by 2.5 tenths.
You can instantly go on board with Cameron there. He was on an outlap there, now he's on a lap, coming into turn 1.
We will go on Cameron then, as also Matthew's on a lap ahead of him, I believe. Just make sure if he is. Yes, I believe he is, so we will keep an eye on both drivers. As Cameron Young then, will he be quicker than his pole position time? Yes, he is, by 700ths up on his lap, so he is improving. As Harry Cooper's actually retired in quali, so I think that's all this practice he will be doing, unless he is doing the race, of course. Which I hope doesn't affect any of the drivers. Oh, Cameron could have invalidate. He did invalidate, so that is his lap over. What about Matthew Alder? Matthew Alder isn't on a lap either. He has backed off. And currently, Matthew is in 17th with only 5 minutes and 10 seconds remaining of the session. Is anybody else on a lap? Because I know Matthew's backed off.
Yeah, Matthew might have actually been giving his teammates slipstream, because the minute that Cameron invalidated, he backed off.
Interesting. The Williams are trying the slipstream tactic, and it has worked so far. Cameron is second. Oh, actually, Jack Laverty, without us knowing, has took the lead. 118.355 by 1,000th of a second ahead of Cameron Young. A very good lap there from Jack, just to sneak ahead.
Yeah, it was quite the lap. Last week, I think he finished third, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, he did get a podium.
Now he's put himself on provisional pole, although we haven't seen everyone on the medium tyres, because that's what everyone will inevitably go on. So it'll be kind of a little showdown. This is like the... I guess this is kind of like a prologue, and now once everyone puts on the mediums, we can get down to the business end of quali.
Oh yeah, you are correct there. Only there is one driver out right now on a set of medium tyres, and it is Felix Negwer on a set of Red Bull mediums. He is in the Red Bull, of course. And he's currently out in turn 10, so he will be starting that very shortly. He's not going to get really affected, hopefully, since there's a lot of clean air. So let's see what Felix can do then on a lap, as he has been an IRL champion before. I believe in season 4 he won the championship against Matthew Alder. So both drivers have won a championship. Maybe Felix could be a championship contender this season. As here comes Felix now round the final corner. Let's see if he gets a good exit, and he does. DRS activated, and let's see what time he will do. He's coming down the big long straight, approaching almost 202 miles an hour. Brakes into turn 1, goes into gear 4, nice tidy entry through turn 2. Nice tidy through turn 3 as well. He's now approaching turn 4. Let's see how nice tidy he's currently 800ths up on his lap. on a set of hards, I believe his best lap is. And it is a 1:19.7 on a set of hards. Let's see how he takes the rest of the lap through turn 5. Decent exit. Oh, gets a bit of the grass on the rear tyre though. Could cost him a bit of time. So he takes turn 6 and 7. Doesn't invalidate, luckily. Turn 9. Beautiful there. Somehow he doesn't invalidate it like Cameron did. Now let's go through to turn 10. It's currently PB on second. He will be, of course, because he is on the medium tyres. There's now a few people coming out. Oh, he makes a mistake. And he's into the barrier. And Felix's lap is game over. And it looks like he's going to be in 14th as he's lost a bit of his end plate. And he will be devastated.
And you also got Jay and Matthew yet to set laps as well.
Yep, that is
so
true.
They'll inevitably beat that. So he could be down in 17th maybe once also. Sondre as well maybe sets a better lap as he's on the outlap at the moment. A few people now on their laps. Diego is coming into the hairpin right now. As he sets the best middle sector of the session, of course.
Okay, we'll go on Pedro.
Through the tricky, tight bit of the track. And it stays that way, nice and tight, until the exit of this corner here. And this corner, you really got to get the exit down, because it'll affect your run all the way up to the line. And coming up to the line, what's going to be, he's going to put on provisional pole with a 17.8, that is. Brandon puts an 18.2 right behind him.
So Diego and Lewis Curtis jumped to second straight away with a 18.2 as well. As Pedro is battling, I thought you were on about Pedro when you said it, but it was actually Diego, my bad, as Pedro is on his lap now. But I believe Aaron Collingwood is the lead Renault on laps. As we'll keep an eye on, I believe Jay's right behind him, and he is, so hopefully these two...
Oh no, he's not lap, never mind.
As there's a racer point, lost it through turn 2. Aaron keeps it within track limits, decent exit, the best exit I've seen from anybody in today's race, as he's currently PB on pole, as he's over 5.5 tenths up on his time, which is actually expected on the medium compound of tyre. As he's about to finish the final sector, hopefully he doesn't invalidate, because he could get provisional pole, as he could be a possible championship contender to Matthew Alder. As here comes Aaron Collingwood then through the final corner. As
Lee is out.
And Aaron does take pole, but Jake steals it from him by 4 tenths there, 17.4. So he's told Matthew, if you want to try and get pole and be a championship contender against me, you're going to have to pick up the pace, as Matthew's currently in 17th, and he's invalidated. Matthew Alder will be starting in 17th, it looks like, because he is invalidated on his lap, and he's really pushing the Williams to try and get enough time, but time is up as people is finishing their laps. But we'll stay on course.
His teammate isn't too far away from him either. He is going to be able to set a lap. It looks like he's going to be one of the last.
We will keep an eye on Matthew, because it could be a glitch saying that he's on an invalid, as we see a Toros there into the wall. I believe that was Sondre. It was Sondre. So Sondre's made a mistake there, as Matthew is coming through the final corner. It says he's invalid, but it could be wrong. Let's see if he does improve. Nope, he is actually invalidated. He goes 17th.
Cameron Young now through the final corner. Opens CRS. Is he going to put it on pole? No, he puts it in 4th as a 17.6. Very close between the front runners as well. The top 4 separated by about 2 tenths.
Second up on his lap. What is he going to go? He takes P9, drops Ollie into 11th, where Ollie will be a bit happy that he isn't confident in his track. He will get a fresh set of tyres. But the person who I never thought who would be far down the grid is actually the champion, Matthew Alder. Currently in 17th, no lap set. Tried to help his teammate, who's currently in 4th. His teammate has actually out-qualified him for once. So,
yeah, actually, kind of looks like a bit of a reverse to last week. Last week you had Jay at the back fighting through, with Matthew pretty high up there. Now we have Jay on pole with Matthew at the back, and he'll have to fight his way through the field.
All right there. Right now then, we are going to read the top 10 then. So Jay takes pole with 17.4, just a 10th quicker than Jack Laverty in 2nd. Pedro takes 3rd, Cameron Young goes 4th, Lion in 5th. Aaron Collingwood in 6th, Nino Romanella 7th, Diego goes to 8th, Lucas is in 9th, Eric is in 10th with Ollie in 11th, Lewis Curtis 12th, Brandon Glover 13th, Lee Kelly in 14th, and I will leave the rest of the grid in the formation map. As I need to make sure who's M&T Lion, M&T. He actually isn't on the list for some reason. Sondre hasn't updated the driver list for me. Lovely. Well, I'm just going to call him Lion for now. Unless he's an F2 driver. No. Well then, while we're going on loan screen, the qualifying race prediction then, I'm going to give it to Jay. I think Jay's got the win in the bag. I think Cameron's going to take 2nd, and I think Aaron Collingwood could get 3rd, with Lee Kelly then taking 4th.
I'm going to say that Jay's going to take the win as well. I'm going to put Aaron Collingwood in 2nd, and what will we put in 3rd? I want to kind of go for a surprise.
I think we got a glitch.
Wait, is it glitched?
Yeah, we got a glitch.
Ah.
Not on an IRL F1 lobby with Codemasters to have a glitch. Codemasters, fix your game. Come on. Seriously, it's not hard to fix this. Like, they fixed it. Oh, and then Matthew's when the grid starts, so it was Matthew's fault. Blame Matthew, gotta blame him. Well, we'll be restarting, I believe, because Matthew isn't in the lobby. I think IRL F2 did a restart because of this as well. So we'll be doing a restart, it looks like. But I will wait for confirmation in the chat on YouTube and also on Discord to make sure we have confirmation. If you can keep an eye on the PSN chat.
Yeah.
Kevin?
Nothing said about it yet.
Well. So what's going on with Coos? Why? Hi then. Yeah, I think there is.
And yeah, there we go.
Oh, his MX's mine is actually, and he just hasn't been added. Just gonna have a look at sign up threads for a minute. Oh, yeah, of course. Alright, yep, we are having a restart then, so we'll back out the lobby. Well, while we wait for lobby, well, it's time to do the drivers' standings and the constructors while we wait. As we'll go on to standings then. As currently right now, Matthew Alder is leading after round 2 with 43 points to his name. Could he be the first IRL champion to do back-to-back championships? Jay Drawbridge in 2nd with 26 points, with Jack Laverty in 3rd with 25 points. Lewis Curtis in 4th with 19 points, Eric in 5th with 16, Casper in 6th with 15 points, Pedro in 7th with 14 points, Cameron Young in 8th with 12, Aaron Collingwood in 9th with 10, Felix Negwer, Matthew Collins and Jamie Morris all on 6 points in 10th, 11th and 12th, Ollie in 13th with 4 points, Sondre and Bran 14th and 15th with 1 point, which is not like Bran, as he's twice been 4th I believe in the championship last season and the season before that. As we will now go on the constructors. Williams look like a dominant force with 55 points to their name. McLaren is 2nd with 29, Mercedes 3rd with 27 points, Renault 4th with 24 points, Rest Point in 5th with 19 points, Toro Rosso 6th with 17 points, Haas is 7th with 15 points, Red Bull in 8th with 6, Ferrari in 9th with 6, and Alfa Romeo 10th with 6. As we'll go and look if we've been invited. Nothing as of yet. Round 1 at Australia, Aaron Collingwood did take pole position. Race winner was Matthew Alder, and fast lap was called by Lewis Curtis. Pole position was Jack Laverty. Race winner was Jay Drawbridge. Fast lap was also taken by Jay Drawbridge. So right now, people who've qualified on pole haven't been able to make it a win. So could Jay be the first one to do this at Spain for round 3, as we've still not got an invite to the lobby, which is annoying. Kevin, have you been invited?
I have not.
I'm going to message Brandon for a minute. How many reserves do we have for F1? Yeah, we have 6. Well, Liner is actually a reserve, my bad. He's a 6th reserve. Oh wow, so I think some of the reserves couldn't make it. That might be why Harry is actually in the lobby for today. Which is understandable. Even still though, we've still got almost a full grid. That's fine, mate, if you've got things in the background. I've had worse. Still no invite to lobby. Come on, Matthew.
No, I'm gonna get myself a glass of water while we wait.
Oh man. Oh, Brandon's invited us. Kevin, I'll invite you as well. Oh, well, I'll wait for my co-commentator to get a glass of water, and then he will join the session. As right now we actually apparently have a full grid. Oh no, that was just Kevin joining. I've done Vamos Diego, so people are also trying Diego's. Diego has made his return to IRL as he did leave. I believe took a break. And in the season he was in the Alfa Romeo with Louis, who was a championship contender to Matthew Alder. Unfortunately he got beaten and Matthew Alder became champion. Unfortunately Diego was on his own to try and win the Constructors, but couldn't succeed, unfortunately, with the Reynolds being too strong. However, he is back, probably for some redemption. As well, wait for Matthew Alder to get everybody in the custom grid, and it looks like the weather was clear all the way through the race, which is good to see. So we're not expecting any rain. As it looks like we are going into the lobby then. As Sondre says, this is going to be a long race at the back of the grid with a emoji. Oh, you never know, Sondre. It's Jay starting at the back. You could win. We've seen you win against Matthew before. Anything can happen. It is IRL F1, of course. As my co-commentator, I believe, has returned, and he has. Yeah, Brandon just said he could race, by the way, for Harry. So I just wanted to get clarification, which is fine, which he still is in, so he is racing. Hopefully he has a good race and he doesn't ruin anybody else's race, because if he does it could lead to impacts. But good luck for him, as he is my fellow F2 driver and is your fellow teammate. And hopefully to the Codemasters and F1 gods that there is no glitch. Because if there is, ugh, yeah, it's going to annoy me. I've read the standings out as well, so everyone is up to date on the standings. But Kevin, did you tell me what your race prediction was? I believe you did. I think you said Jay was on pole.
Yeah, I didn't actually finish it. I said Jay first, Aaron second, and I didn't pick a third. I'm gonna say Jack Leverty third.
Jack Leverty third. Oh yeah, he has been showing some good pace lately in the McLaren. As Paco Suarez has made it to the stream. Good evening, Paco. It's good to see you in the comments. But yeah, he could do well. He could get a podium again and come a championship threat to Matthew by just getting podiums. He don't have to win races to become a champion. Anything can happen. It is IRL F1, of course, and there's a lot of quick guys in here who would like to win the championship over Matthew Alder. But I believe Matthew Alder is the favourite to win it, especially for me, of course. He has won it last season with dominance. Although Jay has been showing some true pace, so we could see Jay do it, as Lucas Serra is having issues loading into the lobby, so I think it's another restart possibly, or because if it is Lucas, he might not be able to race.
If he leaves, I'm sure his car will still be there though, so
his
he
car
must
won't
take
be
control of it now.
No, his car won't be there because it's formation lap. You have to do it after the formation lap. This isn't good for Lucas then if he's not going to be able to drive. And hopefully it isn't a restart because we'll be cutting it a bit late because I believe other drivers have other leagues and other races to do after IRL. But yeah, while we wait for Lucas to load in, just got to wait and see, as we know the weather is going to be clear. There's going to be no issue with rain.
Yeah, with the the way you were kind of hinting, well, not kind of saying that you'd expect Matthew to win it and maybe kind of predict him to win it. I'm gonna go against that and say that Jay's gonna take it this season. Because I mean, he has showed pace, especially at the end of the last season, that he showed that he could win races, and he's showing that he still can win races here with last week winning, and this week he's on pole. So.
Oh yeah, that is true. Of course, Jay did have a strong start to the last season. Unfortunately, bad luck got into him with Spain as one of the examples. He had contact with Matthew's teammate Cameron Young, and he crashed into the wall of champions in Canada, which was unfortunate for him. I mean, I agree, Sondre. Well, this is fun.
That's Lucas in the chat requesting a restart.
It's if his internet is bad like this, it's up to Bran. We don't have priority. It's up to Bran's choice, really, in my opinion. Bran has a decision: either restart the lobby or Lucas. Unfortunately, can't race for today because his internet's not working with him, which would be a shame. But it is what it is. If you can't get okay internet, as we don't have any issues roughly with any other driver with it, so I don't understand what the issue is today. But yeah, as I was saying, let's have a look at standings history with season 6, I believe F1 if it loads. If it loads. And for some reason it hasn't. Reload standings history. Why is this not loading? Am I going to have to load it by my phone? Yep, I'm going to have to load it by my phone. Lovely. Has he said anything else? As people are getting annoyed with him in chat. He will have to leave, it looks like them. Do apologies for the wait, guys. It can't be helped. Sometimes issues do happen, of course. As we will have a look then of the last seasons, if I can find it. If I can find it, server champions standings history. There we go. So, if we look,
Paco said that Lucas is going to restart his PS4.
Yeah, but that ain't going to make a difference, really. It's his internet alone. But yeah, as I was saying, Jay had a very good start to the season as he won the second, third round, Austria and Mexico. And then unfortunately after that, it was just Matthew Louis, and Jay just dropped off. As Jay is requesting to the admins. I kind of agree with what Jay's just put in the admin chat, but we will be waiting a bit longer. But the decision's up to Bran. None of us can make the decision as admins for him. Oh, Bran's actually giving an ultimatum, which I'm not saying on stream. So Bran's been very clear. I'm just gonna message him on Discord. If he doesn't leave in the next few minutes, just restart. If it comes 22, restart the lobby. You know, it's what it is, what it is.
To be honest, leaving right now is probably going to be quicker.
Yeah.
Restarting right now is probably going to be quicker. This doesn't look like he's leaving.
Oh, he's left. He has left. So he has left the chat. So he has took the advice. And, oh no!
Eric left as well. Ah.
For God's sake, why?
5, 6,
seriously?
10,
now we're gonna have to
13,
restart for Eric
17.
because Eric isn't here.
Yeah, we have 17 drivers. Oh. We had 20 at the start. Or no, I think we had 19 at the start. Yeah, no, that makes sense, because then, yeah.
Or we're gonna have to restart for Eric now. Seriously, this is annoying. Yeah, but he might not be in his car. He's not on the list. He's back.
Yeah, but
that might be called a restart. Could be not, of course, as you said.
No, his car's...
he's not there.
No.
It will say he is, but look, we're missing drivers because... But
Lucas' car... No, it's not actually there. Lucas' car is non-existent.
Eric has left again. And we're down to 17 drivers then, it looks like. And it looks like we're not restarting. Which is understandable from Bran's point of view. He may want to get this race underway. It is just a decision.
Well, wouldn't it be 18 drivers? No, it's not.
It would be 18.
Yeah, it would be 17.
It would be 18 if Eric was in. But right now we only have 17 because Lucas is now rejoined. He can't get into his car because his car's not there. So...
Well, I think it is 18 drivers though. Because if Eric's car isn't showing up, then it's still missing 20th car. And then you take out Lucas, so you have 18.
That's correct. Lucas Sarah's car still in the pits. So it's... yeah. This is a joke, to be honest. With the internet, people need to fix internet. It's not... Like, I understand if he's like from Brazil or America, yeah, that's understandable, but Pedro's from there, and Pedro doesn't have issues with the internet that much. So I don't understand what the issue is with connections between him and Matthew, because this was like this last week. There was an issue with the internet.
Anyway, back to the racing, we're here.
Yeah, it looks like we're underway as Felix takes 15th, Sondre in 16th, Matthew Alder did take 70th then, Venom in 19th, and Harry is in 19th, actually. Apparently he's 19th, but he's not, he's actually 18th. Shane's saying good luck to everybody. As we are about to get signal to start the race. As we are going with 18 then. So we've got 2 lights now, 3 lights now, 4 lights now, 5 red lights. And we're underway in the Spanish Grand Prix. And it looks like Jack's had a good start, but there's actually a racing point. And Nino Romanello, who's had a decent start, I believe, there. And he's already in the P7, as Jack Lamptey's already dropped the P3. May lose to P4, as the Renaults are in attack mode and are attacking into turn 1 and 2. As it looked like clear all the way from the back there, Kevin, as there was no contact.
Yeah, completely clean from everyone in the opening stages of this race, which is always good to see. Is there's a Renault off? That's Pedro going off and losing a few places, flipping the grass. And now it's on the side with the Ferrari of Diego there. He's trying to get by him, he just can't get it.
As Felix Negwer is challenging Matthew Alder, Season 4 champion against Season 6 champion. Red Bull versus Williams. As Harry's actually keeping up with Felix.
Yeah, and Aaron both had pretty good starts. They both gained 2 positions off the start. And actually, Lewis Curtis gained 6. He started down in 12th.
Ollie's crashed through turn 12. So Ollie is the first victim of the curb of turn 11/12, and he will be out as a VSC. Well. Interesting. It's very interesting.
As I was saying there, Lewis Curtis had a great start. Started down in 12th, up into 6th.
Oh my, so did Nino Romanello, I believe. Yeah, actually, no, Nino's actually holding position. Yeah, you were right. Has gained 6 positions. Venom's had a good start as well. He's had 7 positions gained. Matthew Alder is into 12th, gained 5 positions as VSC is now off, and we go green, green, green. And Cameron Young, unfortunately, as Pedro's lagged out, so Pedro has left the session. As Cameron Young is in second, then probably going to challenge for his first win of the season, I believe, or first win actually in IRL compared to his teammate. Could become a championship threat. As right now, though, Jay still leads. Cameron in second, Jack Levity in third, and the Renault of Aaron Collingwood is getting hounded behind by an Alfa Romeo on 2 racing points. Trying to fight as we now get 13 views. Just good to see the views all coming up. Now, though, as we can have a look online, the reserve already challenging Collingwood. Oh, makes a little mistake, and so does Collingwood, though. As we now come through turn 13 and 14 now. Into turn 15. Commented nice and tidy through the chicane, but line is still there, so maybe the wings can work. As here comes the Alfa versus Renault, Ferrari versus Renault engine power. Oh, Ryan does a late lunge, but Lion's not having it. Lion is still sticking it to the inside line. They go side by side, wheel to wheel, bit of wheel banging. Aaron makes a mistake, tries to switch, can't make it work. As here comes Lion, tries to go on the... Ooh, bit of decent it looked like there from Collingwood and the Alfa. As Lion's really getting aggressive with the Collingwood, with the Renault. These two had a bit of altercations on the formation lap when we had the restart. And here comes Lion round the outside, trying to make it work. Unfortunately, can't get the switch. And that is annoying. As unfortunately, as Ollie said,
yeah, this fighting is just costing them time, because now Aaron Collingwood's 2.5 seconds behind third place of Jack, and the top 3 are really getting away now.
Yep, that is true. As unfortunately, Bran took out Ollie there. Rumours apparently. Eric, so I misunderstood about the restart, but then found out Lucas left, and there we go. I was too late already, but no, can see you next week. So as soon as Lucas left, I thought we were going to restart, so no one. Oh, I think I just clarified. As Eric said, put it as much as 2 times. And Pedro said he's
here comes Lion down the inside of Aaron Collingwood. He's going to be on the inside and turn to the outside for turn 2. Aaron's squeezing him, and he's going to have the inside for the next corner. It looks like he has it done. The racing point behind of Nino Romanello might get involved in this as well.
That's Lewis Curtis.
Oh, it's Lewis Curtis, rather. 2 racing points actually waiting to see if they can pounce. But yeah, Lion passed Aaron up into 4th place.
Got to give him, that guy, the reserve, is showing Aaron Collingwood right now how to drive. Reserve is in 4th. Aaron is a full-time driver in Renault.
Oh, a small mistake from Aaron there as well. That's going to put him on the back foot coming onto the straight. And he also clips a bit of gravel. Could this allow Lewis Curtis to maybe go on the inside?
As Pedro rejoins.
And he sticks behind. And Nino Romanello actually almost hits the back of his teammate. He had to go deep there and loses him a little bit of time. And now Diego's also closing up to him as well. He might be thinking about a move on Nino soon.
That is possible. There's a massive battle right now for this position, but as you said, Jay, Cameron and Jack Louty will be having this. Felix moves up to P13 now as Jack Louty sets the new fastest lap with a 1:21 flat right now, as Aaron Collingwood is not leaving line
right
side,
up the back fine. But
he makes a mistake, and here comes Lewis Curtis now. Lewis maybe going for a lunge on the inside. Oh no, Lewis has got a lot of dirty air, runs extremely wide, and it's going to cost him a little bit of time and a little bit of tyre life. So there is another battle on track for first place with Cameron Young and Jay. I will have to keep an eye on that as well with this battle. As Jack Louty gets the first 3-second time penalty added to his time. As Matthew Alder to the leader. Let's have a look to Matthew Alder. Is 7.7 seconds
actually,
right now.
If you look at the track map, you can see the gaps that the top 3 has made to the rest of the grid.
That is true.
Really considerable gap.
It's a very good gap. It was around about 3.1 seconds.
And
right
Lion as well, after getting past Aaron, he's almost out of DRS already, so he might be able to break that and start making inroads in the top 3.
Well, that is crucial around this track.
To separate them.
It will be within DRS range still, though, unfortunately, for Lion. Oh, as Lewis makes a big correction. And here comes Nino, his teammate, as both racing points didn't finish last race. And here they come now, fighting side by side. As Matthew Alder gets a 1:20.8 new fastest lap on a set of hard command tyres. Actually, Nino lagged a little bit there. And unfortunately, can't make the position. Our race points have to be careful. Diego in the Ferrari is looking strong. And Venom with a qualifying ban is in 10th place right now.
Up at the front, Jay has really been pushing. 0.8 of a second separated himself, and Cameron Young is almost out of it. He is really pushing to try and get out of this DRS, start getting away and build a comfortable gap. And it looks like he is doing a good job of it, as he's also got Cameron Young has Jack right behind him as well, and he's going to be hungry to get past him.
You are right there. As Lewis Curtis is closing back on Aaron Collingwood, as this is the closest battle. Actually, no, there is actually another closest battle on track for P13 between Sondre Sorhaug, the Ballhaug, and Felix Negwer. Currently in 14th, Toro Rosso versus Red Bull. We will sneak on that little battle, possibly. As I don't believe the racing point of Lewis Curtis. If you can keep an eye on Lewis Curtis right now,
Aaron Collingwood behind Lion. Will he go? He's going to go to the inside. Lion stays on the outside, and he had a look, couldn't make it work.
Here's Felix, and is he getting a good run enough to make a lunge into turn 1 on Sondre Sorhaug? Can't make it work, but locks up a little bit. That could affect him by Pedro. Pedro's trying to switch on medium tyres. He's going to be a lot faster than Felix right now. But Felix has to keep an eye on his mirrors from the Renault. As Pedro is still there, he's trying to scare Felix right now. Unfortunately, it isn't working for Pedro. But it's helping Sondre with this battle. As right now then, we will go for the battle very shortly with Aaron Collingwood and Lion, as he's still under threat by Lewis Curtis. As Matthew Alder's almost in this battle as well. He's currently in 8th by a second off Nino Romanello. As Pedro makes a little mistake there, so we will jump on Aaron Collingwood then, who's really under threat by the racing point now of Lewis Curtis. But Aaron isn't pushing, he is saving all his ERS. But so is Lewis. Lewis is not pushing either. Oh, as Lewis yet again makes a little mistake, which is unfortunate. And this time Nino may have a good run on him. Like we said, new fastest start, 1:20.847. Actually, you're right. Jay did pull a gap, but now Cameron has gained back on that gap, Kevin. Around that 3.5
Yeah,
tenths.
I've been keeping an eye on it, and it just seems that Cameron just kind of wants to stick behind Jay, really. I mean, in terms of battery life, their battery lives are around the same for the top three. All got around 70%, with Jay leading this, so it doesn't look like Jay's under any pressure to push yet. I mean, obviously he did try to get away earlier, but it didn't work, and it seems comfortable to just stick just ahead.
You are correct there. I think they're actually not trying to push that much, trying to stretch those mediums as long as possible, as tyre life around here can be quite tricky, especially with the tyre heating. But don't count Jack out here, he's not that far off either of these two. So here comes Cameron then, he's approaching.
Cameron's really closing now.
I think Jay is trying to save fuel, possibly. As Lion is almost out of DRS range from Collingwood in P5 right now. Lion in 4th.
And Matthew Alder's also caught up to this little train for 4th. He's following closely behind Nino now. Lion will need a good final sector if he wants to get away from Aaron. It looks like Aaron is only really holding on because of DRS. It looks like Lion does have the pace over him right now.
It is true. Things are, Matthew's in a good spot right now. He's currently in 8th on the hard compound of tyre. As now Cameron is trying to...
well-timed safety car as well could give Matthew quite the boost, as it did with Jay. As speaking of Matthew, he's going down the inside of Nino Romanello into turn 1, and he's got it just before the burn as well.
Collingwood gets a 3-second
easy to like.
Well, Matthew gets it done and dusted on track against Nino. Nino now drops to P8. As Curtis is Nino's team ahead of him in 6th. Matthew is going to be right on his rear end to try and make the move and try and also get past Aaron Collingwood. As Matthew's currently still purple in sector 1, he's trying to get those fastest laps every lap right now, as Matthew is really picking up the pace, and he's not even pushing these ERS that much.
Yeah, I think if anyone who isn't in the top 3 wants to win this race, they're going to need a safety car, because that gap is just getting bigger and bigger every single lap because of this fighting with the train for 4th. And I mean, as I said earlier, you can see the gap in the track map is just increasing more and more as the laps go by.
Right there. Well, Nino looks like
actually Jay, I've just noticed that Jay has broken DRS. Cameron does not have it for the straight, and this will help Jack to close up. And speaking of him, he's going to go on the outside. He switches to the inside. A bit of a Vettel move on Bottas, if I remember that correctly, in real life. Now he's going to go around the outside in turn 2, and he can't make it work, but he's going to go for a switchback line, and he has to stick behind.
Well, Aaron Collingwood now is in a bit of trouble from Lewis Curtis. He's got no DRS now anymore from Lion. Lion's done the undercut, already pitted, only doing 9 laps on those mediums, and he's currently in 16th. Kevin, do you think he can make those hards to the end?
I think the when is the pit lap? The pit lap's like lap 15, isn't it? 14, 15 for mediums?
Yeah, I'd guess roughly that. So he may be trying a different strategy then, possibly for fast lap near the end of the race. Which would be interesting, of course. He could steal a point. Right now,
and
then,
into the pits comes Cameron Young.
So Cameron's doing the undercut. But Jay is out of DRS, and Jack's going to get a bit of DRS and gain a little bit of time on Cameron. But what about Matthew Alder as Lewis pits? Lewis doesn't go out. Matthew Alder now jumps to 3rd, and Diego now jumps to 4th. Sorry, 5th after the pit stops from the front runners, as Jay is staying out. And this is very sensible for Jay, in my opinion. Stay out for the next 2 laps. You may lose a bit of time from the guys behind, but you're going to have fresher tyres near the end of the race.
Yeah, I think Jay might be doing a bit of a Hamilton right now to stick out on these hards, or these mediums, sorry, for quite a bit longer. And while we'll hinder him now, by the end of the race, he'll be a lot quicker than the guys around him.
Well, right now, Lyon's currently 8/10 ahead of Aaron Collingwood right now. If Aaron wants any chance to catch, he's already out of DRS range. Lyon has paid that undercut very smartly. Lewis Curtis stalls. That's a little bit of time to Aaron. Currently 2.3 seconds in from the pit stop. As will the race leader pit, however.
Oh, Sondre has made a mistake.
The bottle
I am so glad I caught that.
Bottle from Sondre. Gotta say it. The original is back. And he's currently 16th on the hard, so he doesn't really have to worry that much. However, Jay still hasn't pitted. Matthew's the new fastest lap, 1:20.7, so he's still got a bit of pace on those hards compared to the medium runners. Jack's in, switching on the hard commentators. Where is he going to come out on track against Cameron Young? As Cameron is coming down the main straight, it looks like Cameron's going to jump him, and possibly Felix could jump Jack. Let's have a look. Yep, he does it, but oh, the side by side, and unfortunately Jack doesn't really lose that much time. It just gets ahead of Felix, and Felix will be a bit disappointed with that, as Brandon is in P7 and fighting Lee Kelly. Side by side they go. Lee Kelly's on the grass. Lee Kelly's on the grass almost, and Lee will not be happy a little bit with that. With Bran, bit aggressive from Bran, not like him, and Bran now into 6th. Lee Kelly is still there, as these two teams only have 6. Oh no, it's only Alfa Romeo who only has 6 points to the constructors. So Alfa Romeo will need to pick up the pace and points if they want a chance in the Constructors' Championship, as they were runners up last season.
Little thing about Matthew and Jay. It looks like Matthew has the pace over Jay. Obviously, Jay's tires will be going off around now. Matthew obviously on the hard, so he'll have a bit more tire life.
Well, Jay is actually in. So Jay has finally paid. Nino's also finally paid, and so is Diego. So maybe this is a tactic from Nino to try and hold up the Mercedes crew. It doesn't work, however, because Nino's way too far, and Jay doesn't get halted. Now Matthew needs to pick up the pace, and if I was Brandon, I'd help his teammate a little bit by blocking Lee as much as he can. Let's look how much of the gap Jay's actually got. As I think it will alter soon. Yeah, he's still out of DRS range, so even with Cameron doing the undercut, it hasn't worked. Jay has pulled that off out of the bag. Oh, is this yellows? That's a Ferrari.
Matthew.
Diego and Venom had a bit of contact there, so I think Diego made a mistake. Sorry to cut you off there, Kevin.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Matthew will come out, looking where Jay came out, I think he'll come out behind Matthew and Jack, maybe behind Felix if he stays out a bit longer. Although that will probably only be for another lap. So Matthew might have to pass his teammate and Jack, while Jay is able to get away from him.
That is true, but remember Jack has got a 3-second time limit, so you might not have to worry about Jack as much, but his teammate on the other hand, as it's not really the end of the season, will Cameron be playing team orders? I know Cameron may want to win this championship.
Yeah, we saw last week as well, it didn't look like they did use team orders, and I'm pretty sure they even said themselves that they didn't, so it will be interesting to see if they use them or not. As a side-by-side moment with Lee and Bran, just picked that up. Lee gets past.
Lee does jump Bran then
into 3rd, although he hasn't made a pit stop yet.
Well, neither of them have. The top 4 haven't made a stop yet right now, as Diego is in the pits. Sondre still needs to make a scheduled stop very soon, as he's been making a few errors lately, as I did see another yellow into turn 10.
Flag in sector 1.
That is a red ball. That is Harry. Hopefully he doesn't affect anybody else. Nope, luckily he doesn't. As Lee K then is currently in third. Won't be taking much longer, however, though, because Brandon is trying to catch up as quickly as possible. And Jay's
It'll be interesting to see if
Cameron
Bran lets Jay through being teammates.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Jay's obviously
actually
on the quicker tires right now by a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did a little bit of a switch. But
that is true. Jay is a little championship contender compared to Bran, who's unfortunately near the back of the grid in the standings. Unfortunately, he's had a poor start to the season.
Actually, Bran, if he lets his teammate through, he could try and use Jay. Jay will obviously get past Lee, so might be able to use Jay to get past him. Although he might not have to, because he is closing a lot. Lee defends to the inside. He's going to go for the outside into turn 1. Side by side, and he gets the move done just before the corner. Late braking and a nice move from Bran.
It's a good technique, that. It might actually be doing a sandwich effect or something. Maybe back Lee into Jay to let Jay get his DRS, get alongside, but he's going to have to do this quickly.
Yeah, it's not good for Jay though, because he's caught them on a bad part of the track. So now he'll be getting held up instead of getting them on a straight, which is what he'd prefer.
Pack up because he wants practice, apparently. Brown let him in, so. As Jay makes a little error there, which may have cost him a little bit of time, but he's lost a couple of tenths there. As he almost locks up into Lee, and Lee, he's in 4th right now. Still battling with Bran. Gap to leader from Jay is 13.1 seconds. I think it's a 21 second pit stop round here. So Jay is still going to get the lead anyway. But this isn't good for Jay right now. He needs to get by. Oh, that was very close, almost corner cut in that corner. And here comes Jay now. Will he get a good run on Lee? Oh, he's not quick enough. He's going to possibly have to wait for another lap unless he lunges it into turn 1. He's thinking about it. Yes, he is. He's lunging. He almost hits his teammate. Into that. Lee wasn't expecting it, but great move there from Jay. Doesn't hit his teammate. Gets to move as quickly as possible. And now, if I was Bran, I'd let him through ASAP. But good driving there from Jay. A late lunge. Lee saw it coming. Wow. Good move there from Jay.
Doesn't look like Bran is letting him through though.
No, here he is. Yeah, he is. And that's actually probably cost him with Lee. Lee tries to go back, but Bran cuts him off. Now, if I was Bran, I'd hold this pack up as long as possible. Because Jay needs to build some clean
maybe
air.
Not though.
Jay's weaving. Because
Jay
saying thank you.
Yeah, I think Bran maybe might not want to hold up the train so much because if he does, then it might let Matthew get out in the middle of the train instead of behind the train, if you get me. So maybe it would be better for him to not slow it down so much. So you've got yellow flags. It looks like a racing point, maybe.
No, it's the Alpha. Unfortunately, Aaron Collingwood moved on the brake in that, and unfortunately, Lion had nowhere to go. Collected with him, lost a big chunk of his wing, so that may be reported and penalised to Aaron if he's not careful. He did move under the brake. I'm not saying it was his fault, but he did move under the brake in that. As Jay is stepping the pace a little bit now. Cameron won't be happy though with Brandon and Lee dead ahead. Now, yeah, that's very interesting right now. Jay needs to pick up the pace a little bit
between Matthew and Jay right now, 13 seconds. So once Matthew comes out of the pits, of course, first of all, he'll be behind this little train that Bran is holding up. And also, he'll be, probably by then, he'll be around 10 seconds behind. So once he gets behind the train properly, I'd say by then it would be around 10 seconds of a gap. And he'll have to overtake them while Jay can just run off into the distance. So it's a very good position for Jay to be in right now. Especially with his teammate right behind him.
You are correct there, as we'll just have a look at the gaps later. It's 13.2 or 13.3 roughly seconds. So yeah, right there. As right now then, Jay has built the gap, so Bran has tactically slowed the pack a little bit slower, and look at the gap between Bran and Jay right now, 1.3 seconds, and this might cost Jay a little bit of time, sorry Bran, a little bit of time against Lee, because Lee's going to get a free DRS with this.
Yeah, I am kind of expecting Matthew in this lap. that's completely based on, I think, I remember.
Cameron's on the outside, has to watch out from Lee. Cameron gets through. Cameron is now into P5, gets through Lee as soon as possible.
Well, this is gonna be interesting. How much will LeBrun hold Cameron up now?
That is true. Jack Laverty's actually.
So it would be good for Jay if he holds him up like a lot. Obviously, LeBrun did let his teammates through, so I think he'll be aware in case they're not in a party.
And Lee has just dropped off the pace, being passed by Cameron and Jack as quick as possible. And Jay is really pushing now. Gap to Brandon and Jay, 2 seconds right now. As Cameron's really on the rear of Brandon Glover right now. Oh, Jack's out! Jack has crashed into the wall out of turn 9, and that is a hefty impact. And this may aid Matthew Alder.
Down the inside of Brown.
Will he pit?
Couldn't make it work though.
Matthew's pitted. Matthews took the VSC, and this isn't good news for Jay. Jay won't be happy with that. His win could be taken away with Matthew pitting under the VSC. He will be annoyed, but Matthew's got a big job now. 13 laps on those mediums is max people have managed to do. Bran is in. What about Jay? Will Jay jump Matthew?
Matthew's got his tyres on.
And he'll go green, green, green.
Most people behind pitting.
He's going to get a
and
bit
he
of a
comes
gap.
out not too far behind now.
And that's Cameron's win out of the door.
Yeah, Matthew only 2 seconds behind.
Matthew played it very smart. Oh, that is unfortunate for Jack Laverty. Both McLarens DNFing like the racing points the last week, so they will not be getting any points to their name, which will be unfortunate for them. As you did say, Jack Laverty actually for podium position today as well in your prediction, which is a shame. And right now, though, we're going to have to go on board with the battle for P4 right now, with the Renault and the Racing Point between Collingwood and Nino Romanello. As the Racing Points are still fighting with the Ferraris not that far behind, so could we see a Racing Point and the Ferraris battling in the Constructors this season? As my controller is about to run out, apologies for the black box. Box just come up on your screen. As right now then, Aaron Collingwood is under threat then.
Yeah, it does actually, I've kind of had a mysticism. There is
on the wrong side. Diego's thinking about, sorry, Venom's actually thinking about making him lose Curtis. Nino couldn't get the move done though. Oh, Aaron makes another mistake out of turn 2. Those hards just don't seem to work for the Renault. And apologies, Karen, what were you trying to say?
Yeah, I was going to say that, like, if you look at last week, Jay benefited a lot from a safety car, and now it's Matthew's turn to benefit from a safety car.
That is true. It was a full safety car though, as, hang on a minute, that's a Racing Point, that's Lee. He's round. Loses it through turn 4 into entry of turn 5, and that is unfortunate for him. Luckily, doesn't crash or retire. Spins it. As Lewis, I bet, is telling his teammate, I need you to let me by. I'm possibly quicker. As yellows again, that's Lee into the wall, it looks like.
If there's a safety car, I think we'll see the top 3 in straight away.
Or is he not moving? Why is he not moving? Oh, hang on, I think he's letting his teammate through. Why is he not moving? Well, he's going to get...
Matthews was in 5/10 of Jay now.
Oh, Nino's going for the lunge and Aaron sees it, gives him a bit of space. As Nino and Lee's just crashed again. So Nino can't get the job done right now. He's really low on ERS though, Nino is, compared to his teammate. All Lions called it a day as well. So it's good. It was an alright debut for the reserve, unfortunately with the contact with Aaron. Has had an insult to injury. Lee gets a 3-second time penalty. He's just moving out the way for everybody. Can you keep an eye on Lee?
Lee?
Yeah.
Obviously he's got no wing and he's locked down.
Yeah, he keeps spinning. I don't know if that's because of his tyres or he wants to retire. If he wants to retire, then just pause and retire. But if he like crashes into the wall at like max speed, could towards penalty. So I just need to keep him in. If he pits, then you can go.
Well, luckily for everyone else, he'll ghost anyway. And yeah, he's crashed into the pit lane, virtual safety car.
Is he deliberately crashed in the pit lane, or is he just?
It looks kind of deliberate. I mean, like he was in the penultimate corner, he was completely off the track to the left, and then he full locked to the right, and just kind of floated into the pit lane and hit the wall.
If you've got footage of that, can you save that?
Yeah, I can.
Cheers.
I'm gonna save the race at the end anyway, so.
Oh, that's good. It's just I don't want him, in case anyone reports it, nothing happens. It's just in case people report it, you know. But yeah, Jay then is unfortunate now in the lead. It looks like the Williams are going to have a bit of payback from what happened in Bahrain, unless somehow Jay pulls a miracle off and just defends from Matthew. Matthew will be licking his lips right now, currently in second place. One fresh set of mediums. As we go green, 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 as the top three have a big gap ahead.
And Matthew inevitably is going to be making a move on Jay straight away on the safety car restart. He goes to the outside, Jay defends to the inside, and it looks like Jay kind of just let him through.
Possibly, just probably to let him through, let him score a bit of points ahead of him. However, what about Aaron Collingwood and Nino? Oh, Nino's not close enough this time. As Potter says, 22 people are watching the stream. It's actually 23, which is good to see. You know, I think that's our highest, even though we had that bot time when we had like 150 when we were doing Baku. But yeah, I think that's the highest we've had.
Wait, how much did you say it is now?
21. It was 23, but now it's 21. As Lee's left.
Looks like Matthew Collins is right in the back of Lewis Curtis. Lewis actually got a bitter exit then, and also he's not going to be able to challenge into this hairpin at this particular time, although I think, yeah, Matthew Collins is on fresh medium, so he'll be making a move very soon, I'd expect, as Lewis loses the car there. I'm not sure if you caught that.
No, I'm on the battle between Matthew and Jay right now for the lead. Oh, Jay has to take the escape road, and if he's got, he may have to give that position back. I think he's going to lift off and give it him back. I don't know about that. That would... Oh, Matthew, watch out. Oh, almost coming to blows there. Matthew should have been paying attention, in my opinion, there, in case he was going to let him through. And he lets him through. Jay's now going on the outside, but Matthew's technically pulling a strategy what me and Paco did. He's boxing him in so his teammate can catch you up, which I've noticed.
Or maybe Jay wants that to happen.
Possibly.
Because then it gives Matthew more cars to fight. If Matthew can get ahead of him, and then he can get his teammate to fight Matthew, then maybe, well, Matthew's teammate to fight Matthew, maybe he can relax a little bit more. Right now, looking at ERS modes, looks like Jay has a little bit more battery. Cameron actually has less again, although their batteries are all pretty full, so they've been good at saving that. Here comes Jay now. He's going to be looking maybe to the inside. He goes for the inside. Copycat move from earlier. I forget who it was though. And a little bit of touch, a little bit of contact, and now Matthew's going to get to switch back line. side by side,
What is
and the wheel
Matthew has to be
banging.
careful there. He's turned. Matthew was turning into Jay that time. Matthew has to be careful with this, because if Jay reports it, and it costs damage to the car, it could lead to a penalty. Now I understand it's heating
Now
home,
Matthew stays ahead.
as those cursors dropped the P7 apparently by Venom. Making a move, which is Matthew Collins, of course, who was an F2 driver, got promoted. As Paco's saying, give me a bit more emotion. Well, I am giving you more emotion. If I'm not going to shout, you know, as there's viewers. I don't like deafening them. As Harry Cooper has pitted, and I think he might retire unless he's pitting to take the fastest lap. However, I don't know if his fastest lap will count. Jay Coates there. That may be a warning if it, unless he has proof that it's applied. It doesn't take the fastest lap.
Anyway, Matthew's defence to the inside. Jay's going to look to the outside, and the copycat move of what he did last lap, actually. He's going to go down the inside, a little bit of contact once again. Matthew's able to keep it on the track. And now Jay's looking around the outside, a little bit of a switchback. And he has to stick behind for now, but could we see a move into turn 4 maybe? He looks to the inside, dives it down the inside of Matthew Alder in the side by side on the exit. And we also have Cameron Young watching this, maybe waiting for an opportunity. And they're really, really close racing, wheel to wheel. Jay is on the outside, he's still keeping his car there. And it looks like Matthew's going to be able to squeeze him out. He is, and Matthew keeps the lead. Great racing there. And actually, it might not even be finished. And, yeah, no, it is. Matthew gets a better exit.
Jay's got
that was great racing. And Jay dives it down the inside and hits Matthew.
Was he alongside there? Oh no! There's more contact between Matthew and Jay. I don't know what's going on. There's a damage to Jay's car. Yes, there is. There's an
damage
to
Jay's car.
Oh no! Now, was that Matthew in fault or was that Jay? Because I couldn't tell because I didn't have footage. I wasn't paying attention to Matthew.
Here comes Cameron Young now.
Cameron defends. I mean,
Jay defends to the inside. Cameron goes around the outside. It's inevitably going to be a pretty easy move around the outside. Jay locks up a little bit.
Just to make the corner. And that is Jay in now to third. He's got a gap of 11.7 seconds to Aaron. There's only a few laps left, so it looks like third is going to still be his, but he will be really annoyed with that. And it looks like we're only probably having the top two there for interviews if Jay still stays third, because I don't believe Jay still on mic. So right now, Williams are leading a 1-2. There's another battle further behind, Ferrari versus Racing Point. Yellow's in sector 2, that's Harry moving out of the way, I believe. That's Felix pits. Now, if there was a safety car, could help.
Is Harry out, or is
no? He's still in. He's just moving out of the way, I believe. If there's a safety car right now, could help Jay. Big style, really could help Jay. Pit softs, probably got to end. Or pit mediums.
And Matthew's almost broken the DRS from his teammates, so looks like Matthew's going to be cruising to a race win here.
Here's what like that as we're now on lap 29.
And Jay's car's just, he has no turning. He might end up be seeing Aaron Collingwood in this mirror, so there's only 4 laps left. So it's unlikely. But the train will be closing him down, as you can see on the map actually how much time he's lost to the top 2.
Alright, there's a massive battle for P4 with Collingwood. Really under threat by the Ferrari of Matthew Collins right now. Gap to Jay and hit Aaron, 7.8 seconds now. As I'm not really going to jump between the battle for the lead, mainly because Matthew's slowing down a little bit, I think, just to have a bit of fun with Cameron. I don't think it's actually a genuine fight.
I'll be keeping you on this anyway. So.
If there's a pass overtake, I'll switch over to it. But right now, there's a bigger fight near the back of them for P4. As here comes Matthew Collins, then makes the move. Aaron defends again late. Aaron almost, and Aaron's in the wall.
Aaron
is out. Now, wow, I didn't even actually expect that. I don't know what happened there. Aaron has got a big chunk of wing loss, and Aaron isn't going to get a podium now because of this, as we're now on lap 30. And now he will be really annoyed. I understand Aaron will be very frustrated. There's no wing damage to Venom, so I don't know what happened there. I think either Aaron lost it on the curb, or there was a little bit of contact between him and the Ferrari Venom of Matthew Collins.
Yeah, now it's actually a fight between Ferrari and Racing Point, with Bran also in the background there. He's close up to this fight.
Oh yeah, Brian is in 8th right now, so he could be happy with this fight. Right now, as Nino gets a 3-second time, that is going to be crucial.
Oh, Bran! Oh, nice save from Bran. I just caught that on the curb. Almost went round, but he saved the car. Very, very nice from Bran to save that.
Oh, that is unfortunate there. Is right now then. Venom is in trouble by Lewis Curtis. Lewis Curtis going around the outside. He wants a chance to try and catch Jay. Only 2 laps in. I don't think there's any time to catch unless Jay gets a penalty. Matthew versus Lewis. Racing Point versus Ferrari. Side by side they go. Racing Point tries to switch. Can't make it work right now as the Red Bull team doing, as Harry says, actually 119.6. He gets past that temporarily. However, what about Felix? He's coming up to the line now. Unfortunately, he's going to take the fastest lap.
Interesting that Bran can't close up enough to make an overtake here, because he's on presumably the quicker tyre, although his tyres would be going off right now, although so would the hards. So it's interesting that he can't close up to try and make some overtakes here.
Well, yeah, you are right. There's Matthew Otis. That's the new fastest lap. It's old medium tyres, so Matthew's got a lot of pace on those mediums compared to Harry on those fresh softs. As here comes Lewis Curtis again round the outside. This time gets the move done and dusted, and Lewis moves up to P4. Matthew Collins dropped to 5th. Diego is now in 6th with Nino Romanella in 7th.
And now we also have the Ferraris and a Racing Point sandwich.
You're all right there. As we're now on the penultimate lap of this race, it looks like Matthew Oda is going to win. And I'm sorry to say that Jay, Matthew will be getting the drive of the day, starting near the back, similar to you, and he will be getting the drive of the day today. Cameron in 2nd though, with Williams' first 1-2 of the season.
I don't think Cameron's going to be backing down though. He is close. You might want to have a look at this fight. It's just within 0.5 of a second.
Yeah, neither of them are in ERS. They're both in 0. Oh, actually, not saying that. They've just gone up in ERS. Will Cameron Young deny the defending champion a win? Cameron versus Matthew. Nope, not right now. And I think that's the best opportunity he will have, as we're now on the final lap of today's race. As the Williamses are going to be flying it out, as this is the plus spot we do have. As Harry, I believe, just gone into the wall.
Yeah, we have Matthew Collins closing on Lewis. Lewis moves to the right to defend a little bit, and he stays in front as Matthew gets on the curb a little bit there and almost goes around, but keeps the car in check. So yeah, Matthew Collins had a little look, but not close enough.
keep an eye on all the battles. Always Venom and Matthew Collins also locks up down the medium, so those mediums are starting to fail, and those hards are starting to work. However, then we will be jumping on board with the Williams cars, first and second right now. Will Matthew get a penalty on the final couple of corners, and will this promote Cameron to win? Anything can happen. Matthew takes his cane right, so does Cameron, and it looks like Matthew is going to win then, as Matthew comes around the final corner to take the win at the Spanish Grand Prix. Cameron takes second, so it will be a Williams 1-2, as here comes Jay now in the third. Actually, Lewis Curtis really closed up, actually, as here comes Jay then in the P3, and Jay takes third, Lewis Curtis in fourth, Matthew Collins in 5th, Diego 6th, Nino on 7th, Brandon jumps to 7th, Nino drops to 8th, as here comes Pedro, who beat Aaron Collingwood, his teammate, into 9th. So the rounds are going to take the final 2 points, it looks like, as Pedro takes 9th. Aaron with a big chunk of wing missing after the incident between him and Matthew Collins, as here he comes down through the final couple of corners, as he's just losing the rear end. And he will take 10th, as Felix is going to take P11th and beat Sondre Sorhaug in 12th. As here they come then. Or will penalties change this? Nope, Sondre takes 12, and Harry, the F2 driver who's tuned in for today, will be taking 13th, with Matthew Alder on the other hand will be winning.
Okay.
Yeah, there is. His car
Harry's doing a little few donuts.
Well, as long as he was... Well, the race is finished, so you can do a few donuts if he wants. But the winner is Matthew Alder, with Cameron Young second and Jay in third. Both Mercedes engine powered, of course, the top 3.
There we go.
There we have it. Matthew is provisionally on pole. If there's any penalties of anyone, will be resolved on Tuesday. However then, Matthew this time on the top step of the podium, challenging now Jay. That's 2 wins now for Matthew. Cameron in second, Jay in third. So a second podium finish for Jay. I believe a second podium finish for Cameron. The top 3, same as last week, but in different order. As Kevin, can you just suggest Matthew and Cameron for interviews, Matt?
Yeah.
Okay. So there we have it then. Matthew does take the lead with the provisional fastest, I believe, with 19.382. Cameron Young second, Jay in third, Lewis Curtis in fourth, Venom fifth. Diego in sixth, Brandon Glover jumped to seventh by penalties what Nino had, who was in eighth. Pedro jumps to 9 with 0 penalties to his name. Aaron Collingwood in 10th with only 1 penalty to his name, with Felix Negwer in 11th, Sondre Sorhaug in 12th, Harry in 13th as an F2 driver, and then DNFs are Lion, Lee Kelly, Jack Levity, Ollie, Eric and Lucas Serra, who did not start the race due to internet issues, and Eric getting the misunderstanding from the restart. So thank you, Kevin, for... And there we go. We will invite the others who got the podium.
Should we invite Lucas Curtis as well? You got forced.
It's up to you. Last time I invited him, he didn't join interviews, so it's up to you. I'll just tell the guys that got interviews. Well, interviews have been sent. I mean, what a race we've had. Unfortunately, Lucas and Eric unfortunately couldn't race. And there's been a few
I think in the end, I think we were kind of robbed of a nice, a good finish between Matthew and Jay, because, I mean, they were fighting hard on the limits, arguably at times over the limit, but I mean they were going for a win, both fighting for a title, and I think it could have gone down to the wire there.
Oh yeah, you are right there. It was a very close fight. Unfortunately, both of them being very aggressive towards another, getting heat into the moment, and unfortunately there was a bit of contact there, and yeah, it's the end of the day. As Matthew almost actually went to the back of him himself into turn 4, was not really paying attention to his braking point, and if Matthew did hit him, it would have been Matthew's fault. However, luckily he didn't. As a good driver he is, and a deserving champion as he is, he avoided that. And then unfortunately the next lap, Jay just got wing damage, and yeah, you were right, it did cost us a huge battle for the top 3. As I'll wait for the top 3 to join for interviews, as we have one of them now, and that is Cameron Young. Well then, Cameron, we'll start off with you since we all wait for Matthew.
I think Matthew will not be here as he's got a project cars too.
Oh, so it's just you then for
yeah,
then today.
should
Oh,
be.
that's fine. It's fine then, of course, because Jay doesn't have a mic. Well then, Cameron, unfortunately, you didn't get the top qualifying position you had. I believe you qualified 4th.
Yeah, that's correct.
You did get 2nd in the race today, and was that in your plan to just take 2nd and lose against your teammate, or with the race how it went, did you think you could win if the VSC didn't come into play?
No, I think by the time Jay was out of DRS, I think that would have been it. But when the VSC did come out, obviously team tactics came into play, and then we managed to get Jay back into my DRS, and then obviously I don't really know what happened between him and Matthew, but all worked well for me. And then obviously I was pushing just because obviously I haven't won here yet, but no, I'll take 2nd.
Oh yeah, that's a good that you did take 2nd, of course, and that contact with Jay and Matthew, if both of them did spin out, you could have won, I believe, your first IRL race. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen today, of course. Maybe next time, next week. I'm not hinting that there could be a big crash, of course, but you did a very good, strong performance at the start, as you did say. You were with Jay, and then unfortunately Jay did get out of that DRS range, and you couldn't then pass him after the pit stop sequence because he was already ahead. But with that traffic though between Brian and Lee, if you didn't really have that, could you have closed a little bit if Jay got held up a little bit more and possibly challenged him there, or was that just out of the window when Jay did get past quickly Brian and Lee?
No, I believe I could have got well if the traffic had just not been there and Jay all of a sudden just got held up, then I think I would have. I think I got a bit frustrated with the likes of Lee because of he's fighting me and he's about to come in to pits within the next 2 laps, so I did get a bit annoyed. But like I said, I won't complain because eventually Jay came back into my DRS, so all's good.
Well then, I ain't got any other questions to ask you, unless Kevin, you've got any questions to ask him, like the final question or anything you have to add.
Actually, yeah, I'd ask what are you looking at for this season? Because obviously the last 2 races you've put yourself in a potential winning position. Obviously both times you ended up with the podium, but you've been thereabouts consistently, and it looks like you can fight there. So do you think that maybe you could have an outside chance of the championship, or do you think you'd be more helping your teammate, or what are you looking at?
Well, I mean, hopefully I can make the title fight a bit more, a bit more entertaining, with maybe possibly 3 of us going for it instead of just 2, or maybe even Jack Midnight can come and play. But I think most of the time it's just going to be helping out Matthew to just to get that P1. But if I can challenge, obviously then I'm going to take the chance and see if I can win.
Okay. Congratulations on your podium anyway, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for that interview there, Cameron. Well then, we do have the race winner, who has joined the party. Well, Matthew, I've got to say, unfortunately, you didn't have the best of qualifying. It's the first time I've actually seen you that far behind the grid. It's 17th qualified, after you didn't actually set a lap, of course. Were you really disappointed not setting a lap, or was that always part of your plan, go on the hard competent tyres and do a reverse strategy to what Jay did in Bahrain, or was that not part of the plan?
It wasn't the plan I wanted, but I knew it would be fine. I knew I could definitely get a top 3 even if I started, because the hards are really good still for like the entire stint. I was actually lapping faster than Cameron near the end of my stint still. So.
Well, you were showing some quick pace, especially on those hards. You were setting faster laps than the guys on the mediums. And with a win today, and you extend your lead in the championship against Jay, do you think you've got what it takes now to the end of the season just to get podiums or something like that to win the championship, or is it too early on the season to count Jay and Cameron out of the season?
I think it's too early in the season, but I think if I keep this form then I should win the championship by the end.
Well, I ain't got any other questions actually to ask you, if Kevin has, of course.
No, don't.
Well, actually, no, I do have one final question actually for next week. It's actually Monaco. How are you looking forward to that track? The streets of Monaco, a good qualifying is crucial, of course, and also the weather could be an interesting factor. How do you feel you're going to do that?
I like the track to drive. I think it's going to be quite a boring race, but I think I wouldn't actually mind. I think qualifying isn't as crucial as people make it out to be, because I just think you have to be good at overtaking and actually pull off the overtakes. I think starting outside top 10 I actually wouldn't mind, to be honest. But I like the track. I think I can do top 3 there. I mean, it's practically counting out taking away Jay and Cameron, because they're both on pads and it's very obviously a wheel track. So.
Oh yeah, you are right, that it is a wheel track, because myself got beaten by a person on a wheel track who started quite further down the grid. But yeah, Matthew, you're looking forward for that track then. Since me and Kevin don't have any other questions, good luck for the next track, and congratulations on your win, and congratulations for the Williams team to get their first 1-2. I believe the first team actually get 1-2 this season, which is good to see. And hopefully we see you guys on the podium again next race. Well then, Kevin, it's been a very interesting race then between Matthew, Cameron and Jay. Unfortunately, with the contact between Matthew and Jay, we did miss a battle. But the Williams got 1-2. Is there anything you'd like to add before I do the closing down procedure?
Not really. I think we do have a good rest of the season in store. With the 3 drivers that we saw on the podium. I think that's going to stay that way for the rest of the season. Those 3 will be up there, and we also have seen other people be thereabouts as well. So we could see some really good fights in the next few races. So I think it's looking good.
Well then, thanks for that little insight there, Kevin. With then next week coming up is Monaco for IRL F1 Season 7 Round 4 at 6 o'clock UK time. Want to have more content for Spain. F2 and F3 are at 4:30 UK time tomorrow, either with Sondre and Matthew doing comms for F2, or Lance doing it for F2. F3 I believe it's Felix and Sondre if Lance is doing F2. But if you want to join us more for that content, and if you also want to have highlights from last week, they are on the channel now from Kevin, who's done a good job on them. And also if you want more hot lap tips, wait next Friday from Matthew Alder to do his astonishing lap at Monaco. Brandon doing it. Okay, it's Brandon doing it then, which will be on Friday posted. So thanks guys for watching IRL Season 7 Round 3 at Spain. Congratulations for the top 3 on the podium. Congratulations to Williams and Mercedes. And we'll see you guys next time at Monaco. Goodbye for now.